Beamy, 32, barista by day, illustrator by night. Renting tiny apartment above loud-ass noodle shop. City never sleeps, neither do I. Draw mostly for zines, indie labels, and weird clients from Fiverr. No real schedule, no real plan, just vibes and deadlines. Meet Mila at midnight screening of some obscure 80s horror flick. She's 30, works in sound design, wearing oversized flannel and Doc Martens, laughs too loud, quotes movies by heart, sits next to me even though the theater's half empty. Halfway through the movie, she leans in and whispers, "You know they used real cow organs for this scene?" I blink. Weird flex, but okay. We end up talking in the lobby till 3 a.m. Coffee turns into breakfast. Sunrise hits while she's telling me how she used to record train noises as a kid. Never done this before. But I ask if she wants to come upstairs. She smirks. "Only if you have good tea." We get to my place. Apartment smells like ink and dust. She doesn't seem to mind. Puts on one of my hoodies without asking. Kicks off her boots like she's been here before. I make tea. She picks the vinyl. Some lo-fi jazz crap I forgot I even owned. She lies on my floor while it plays. Stares at the ceiling. Says nothing for 5 minutes. Then, "So, are we going to pretend we're not thinking about it?" I choke on my tea. She laughs. 10 minutes later, we're tangled in sheets. Not soft, not gentle, not romantic. Just real. Like two people who needed to feel something. After, she steals half my blanket. Asks if I always draw sad girls in space. I ask if she always psychoanalyzes her one-night stands. Only the ones who make good tea. We fall asleep around 5. Wake up at noon. She's already dressed, sipping tea again. Doesn't say goodbye, just, "Thanks for the blanket." And the Miles Davis. Door closes. Room smells like her shampoo for 2 days. 3 days pass. Don't hear from her. Don't expect to. Wasn't supposed to mean anything. But keep checking my phone anyway. Even checked the tea shelf once. Like she might have left something. Nothing. Friday night. Working late at the cafe. Dead shift. Playlist looping. Same 4 tracks. Look up. She walks in like it's no big deal. Same flannel. Same boots. Orders Earl Grey. Doesn't even look at the menu. I try to act normal. She smirks. "Thought you said this place had good tea." I blink. "You came back to critique my tea?" "Nah, came back to return your blanket." Holds up my hoodie. She washed it. Smells like citrus now. She doesn't sit, just stands there, sipping, eyes scanning the place. Then, "You free after this?" I nod. "Too fast. Don't care." She leaves without another word. An hour later, I'm outside, locking up. She's across the street, leaning on a lamppost, like it's a movie, like she never left. She grins. "Still got Miles Davis?" We go back to my place. Again, same tea, same vinyl, but feels different, slower, warmer. We still don't talk much, but the silence isn't awkward this time. She stretches out on my bed, asks if she can see my sketchbook. Hesitate, but hand it over. She flips through slowly, stops at one page. "This one's me." It's not, but it could be. She smiles without looking up. "You always draw people like they're about to leave." I shrug. People usually do. We don't sleep together that night, just lie there. Her head on my chest, her hand tracing patterns over my ribs. She falls asleep first. I don't. Too busy wondering what just happened. Morning comes. She makes coffee in my kitchen like she's done it 100 times. Where's my hoodie again? I don't ask for it back. Don't want it back. She's halfway out the door when she turns. "Can I come by next week?" I nod. Again, too fast. She notices, grins. "Cool, don't draw me sad next time." Next week turns into twice a week. Then 3. No one says anything about it. Unspoken rhythm forms. She brings pastries sometimes. I start keeping her tea stocked. She steals my socks now too. Acts like it's her birthright. I let her. We don't call it dating, don't call it anything. But she starts sending me voice notes, funny sounds she records. Wind through a busted window. Crows fighting over fries. Subway breaks that sound like screaming. I start drawing from her audio. Make weird little zines with her name hidden in corners. She never asks to see them. I never offer. But once I catch her flipping through my drawer, she sees one. Doesn't say a word. Just places it back gently. Then kisses me like she already knew. One night we're on the roof, her feet in my lap, city humming below. she says. I used to think I wanted fireworks. Now I think I just want someone who stays. Doesn't look at me when she says it. I don't answer, but I don't move. And maybe that's enough for now. We start doing couple stuff, without the label. Bookstore Sundays. She reads poetry out loud in the aisles. Badly. I pretend to hate it. Never stop her. She drags me to weird art exhibits. Makes fun of the pretentious captions. Buys a postcard from everyone. Tapes them to my fridge. It's mostly her place now. She has a toothbrush here, a drawer, her favorite mug. She claims half my blanket without asking. We watch old science fiction movies together, make up fake backstories for background characters, order the same takeout so much. The delivery guy just waves. Once she's late coming over, texted on my way. But 40 minutes pass. I worry, call her. She picks up laughing. Calm down, Dad. I stopped for soup. Heart settles. Didn't realize it was racing. She shows up with soup and a copy of a book she says, I need. It's terrible. I finish it anyway, just to talk about it with her. She tears it apart in my kitchen. I argue like I care. We both know I don't, just like hearing her rant. Things get too easy, too natural. Like, we've been doing this forever, and that's when it hits me. This isn't casual anymore. Wasn't for a while. I watch her fold her flannel over a chair, hum along to some stupid jingle from a ramen ad. And I realize I know her rhythms, the way she always taps her fingers twice before speaking, how she takes her coffee with too much milk and zero apologies, how she flinches when she hears dogs bark too loud. I know too much for this to be nothing, and suddenly that scares the hell out of me. Don't say anything. Just start pulling back a little. Take longer to reply. Pretend I'm busy. She notices. I can tell. But she doesn't say anything. Just gives me space I didn't ask for. Keeps showing up anyway. With soup. With weird audio clips. With that tired little smile like she's trying not to ask the questions I'm avoiding. One night she says, You ever feel like you're waiting for something to go wrong? I nod. Too fast. She doesn't push. Just lays next to me. Eyes open. Both of us listening to the hum of the streetlights. Like we're trying to hear the part where it all falls apart. New client at the cafe. Early 30s. Graphic designer. Calls herself freelance but functional. Laughs at my dumb jokes. Asks what else I do. Show her some sketches. She's impressed. Says we should collaborate sometime. Starts coming in more. Leaves notes on napkins. Your lines make noise. That's rare. I don't think much of it until Mila sees her. Friday afternoon. She stops by unannounced. Says she was in the area. Clients there, sitting at the counter, smiling too much. Mila's expression doesn't change. But she gets quiet, leans on the bar like she owns it, nods at the girl, then at me. New regular? I shrug. Kinda. Client says something flirty. Mila doesn't laugh, just looks at me for half a second longer than usual. Leaves 5 minutes later. Doesn't finish her drink. Doesn't kiss my cheek like always. Texts later. Hey, you seemed busy. Maybe I'll see you next week. Doesn't use any of her usual emojis. No weird audio clip. No photo of a street lamp or broken window. Just space. And something unsaid. Don't get why she's distant. Replay everything in my head. Was I cold? Too slow to introduce her? She said, see you next week. But a week passes. No Mila. I text her. You alive? She replies 2 hours later. Barely. Lots of sound work this week. Short. No joke. No voice note. Just dry, like someone closing a window slowly. I ask if she wants to come by. She says, maybe later. Doesn't say when. Doesn't follow up. Next few days. I see the graphic designer again. She flirts more. Asks if I want to grab drinks sometime. I say I'm seeing someone. Don't know if that's true, but it feels true. She backs off. Says, fair enough. I text Mila again that night. Tell her I miss her. Simple. No games. She reads it. No reply. Stare at the screen for 20 minutes. Check signal. Check battery. Check heart. Still beating. Barely. A few days later, she finally shows up. Late evening. No warning. Door buzzes. She's standing there in her usual hoodie, but eyes different. Guarded. Like she came here to lose a fight. I let her in. She doesn't kiss me. Doesn't sit. Just walks around the room like she's looking for proof. Says, so how's your new regular? I blink. She's just a client. She nods. Too fast. Too practiced. Cool. No big deal. Just curious. But her voice is too even. Eyes keep scanning the room like something's missing. I ask, "Are you mad?" She laughs, but it sounds brittle. "Why would I be? We're not anything, remember?" That hits harder than it should. I step closer. She doesn't move back, but she doesn't soften either, just stands there, arms crossed. "You don't owe me anything, right? That was the deal." I nod. "Yeah, that was the deal." Beat. But I think I broke it. She finally looks at me. Really looks. Eyes tired, glassy. Whispers, "Me too." Pause hangs heavy. Then, like gravity fails, we crash into each other. Not hungry, not desperate, just full. Like holding back all this weight for too long. Hands in hair, teeth on shoulder. She says, "Don't let go," I say. Was never planning to. Wake up before her. Sun's barely in the room. She's curled up, half under the blanket. My hoodie again. Face soft, peaceful in a way I haven't seen before. Like she finally let something drop. I watch her breathe, count freckles I hadn't noticed. Wonder how I didn't see it sooner. She stirs, eyes flutter open, blinks at me, then smirks. "You're staring." I nod. "Yeah, kinda hard not to now." She stretches, groans, pulls blanket over her head, muffled. "Is this the part where we ruin it by overthinking?" I laugh. "Probably, but we've already ruined the rules." She peeks out. "Good, I hated them anyway." We make coffee in silence, comfortable now. She doesn't rush, leaves her bag by the door but doesn't touch it, sits on my couch with her knees up, sips slow, finally says, "So, what are we now?" I think about it, shrug. "Real." She smiles, the soft kind, the kind I haven't seen since this began. "Real sounds nice." The shift is quiet, no grand announcements, just small things. She starts brushing her teeth here, without asking, leaves her charger plugged in, brings over a blanket she says feels more like hers. I start checking my phone less, not because I'm avoiding anything, because everything I want to talk to is already here. She helps rearrange my books, alphabetical by author, then by color, then back to chaos because it felt wrong that way. I let her win. We cook together now. Badly, burnt eggs, too much salt. Laughter over the smoke alarm. She takes over the playlist, forces me to listen to sad girl indie and old movie scores. I secretly like it. We build a weekend routine without trying. Saturday market, Sunday laundry, mismatched socks all over the place. I stop pretending to mind. She reads next to me while I sketch, legs tangled, pages turning. Once she looks up and says, "I like this, not just you, this." I know what she means. The quiet, the us. One night, I catch her crying. No reason, just a wave. She tries to hide it. I sit beside her. Don't ask, just let it happen. Hold her till it passes, she whispers. "Thanks for not fixing me," I whisper. "You're not broken." We fall into rhythm, not the cinematic kind, not fireworks or violins. Just two toothbrushes by the sink, shared playlists, grocery lists with dumb doodles. She writes emotional support pasta every time. I stop deleting it, start drawing little hearts next to it. She pretends not to notice, but keeps the lists in a drawer. One night we build a fort in the living room. Blankets, pillows, cheap fairy lights. Watch dumb cartoons inside it. She falls asleep on my chest mid-episode. I stay awake, just listening to her breathe, thinking. I want this to be boring forever. The kind of boring that feels like home. We argue sometimes, about dishes, deadlines, her stealing the covers. But now it ends with a laugh, or a kiss, or her mumbling, "Okay, but you're still wrong." She makes me tea without asking, remembers which mug I hate. I order her weird snacks from that Korean site she likes. Pretend it's for her, eat half of it myself. We walk more, no destination. She takes field recordings, I take photos. Then we sit on a bench. She listens back to the world. I show her edits on my phone. We don't say much, but the silence is different now. It's full, like a room that finally feels lived in. It starts small, talks about maybe getting a cat. If we weren't so allergic to commitment. We both laugh, then look at each other a second too long. She leaves her keys one day. I hang them on a hook next to mine. She doesn't ask for them back, doesn't mention it, just starts using them. We look at apartments sometimes, not seriously, just for fun. But she saves listings, shows me ones with big windows, Says, you could set up a little studio here. I say, you mean we could? She doesn't correct me. I catch her watching me fold laundry. She tilts her head. Says, you'd be a weird but good dad. I say, you'd be the kind that teaches the kid how to record ghost sounds. We laugh, but the thought stays, sticks, doesn't feel heavy, just possible. One night she curls up beside me, says, you know, I used to think love was chaos. Now I think it's just showing up, over and over. I don't say anything, just hold her tighter, like I'm promising something without words, because I am, and she knows. We don't make a big decision. We just stop pretending we haven't already. Find a place on the edge of the city, not fancy, not photogenic, but it has real walls, real quiet, real light in the mornings. We move in on a rainy Tuesday, both exhausted, but she dances barefoot in the empty living room, spins once, says, it feels like ours. I nod. It does. We build it slow. Hand-me-down couch. Ugly lamp she insists has personality. Coffee table I fix 3 times before giving up. We start talking about kids without realizing we're doing it, casual at first. If we ever had one, would you let them eat cereal for dinner? Then one night she says, I don't want to be just 2 people passing time anymore. I know what she means. I say, okay. Not dramatic, not panicked, just, okay. Like my heart's been waiting to say that for years. She tears up, says, you're sure? I take her hand, place it on my chest. Let her feel the answer. We start slow. Appointments, questions, worry, books on the nightstand. We barely read. Then, one day, tiny test strip on the bathroom sink. 2 lines. She stares at it, silent. Then looks at me. Whispers, are we really doing this? I pull her close. We already are. First trimester is rough. She's nauseous all day, sleeps in weird bursts, cries because I bought the wrong yogurt, then laughs through tears, says, this baby's already a tyrant. I read every article I can find. Track apps make spreadsheets. She calls me Dadbot 3000, pretends to hate it, but keeps screenshotting everything I send. One night, she wakes me up, heart racing, says she had a dream. She dropped the baby, starts sobbing. I hold her, keep saying, we've got this, until her breathing evens out. Second trimester is better. She starts playing music to her belly. We argue over names. I suggest Nova. She rolls her eyes. We're not naming our kid after a space explosion, but she writes it in her notebook anyway. Every checkup is a storm, then calm, then relief. The first time we hear the heartbeat, she grips my hand so tight my fingers go numb. Doesn't say a word, just rests her head on my shoulder after. I don't speak either. We both know if we do, we'll break. Start painting the nursery. Well, she paints. I tape lines and mostly panic. She makes fun of me, calls me Michel anxious. I kiss her paint-covered nose. We build the crib together, badly, have to redo it 3 times. But when it's done, we stand there, just looking at it, like the future became real overnight. Last week's stretch forever. She waddles now, calls herself a penguin with anxiety. I rub her back, her feet, her temples, anything to make her smile through the exhaustion. She gets scared sometimes, asks, what if I mess this up? I tell her, then we'll mess it up together. She nods, but I can see the fear behind her eyes. So I start writing her notes, hide them around the house, inside cereal boxes, on the mirror, under her pillow. You're stronger than you think. You've already changed the world. Look at us. She's going to love you like I do. She finds one every few days, never says much, but keeps them all in a box by the crib. Then one night, 3:17 a.m., she wakes me up, whispers, hey, I think it's time. I bolt up, forget shoes, forget keys. She's the calm one now, half laughing through the pain. You're the one giving birth, or is it me? Hospital lights, machines, beeping, everything sterile and too bright. But her hand in mine stays warm. She squeezes, screams, swears like a sailor. Hours pass. Then, they place something tiny on her chest. Pink, wrinkled, loud as hell. We both cry. Don't even try to hide it. Nurse asks the name. We look at each other, Say it at the same time. Nova. Yeah, named her after a space explosion after all, because she was. A soft kind of supernova. Blew our old lives apart, lit up something new, something permanent.